Towards our third day here. We had a lot of actions from day 1 to day 2. How do you feel so far?
So far, we're starting to see the teams that are going to be showing off their skills. We're starting to see how they actually play, how they perform. Because, of course, we don't really have too many chances to see them play locally, and the VODs and the translations are sometimes very limited. And this is one way for us to actually see them play, how they invade, how they win the fights, and of course quite different from how we do it here in our region, the MSP region. But of course it's going to be a lot more different. And you know what, we've seen our own team, our MSP representatives, show off a bit perform just a bit below the standards, but we still have a lot of room to catch up, and that's what I'm looking forward to today right now.
So thanks so much for Rocker, and I think for our challengers out there, thank you so much for tuning into our stream again. Once again, you're in our day 3 of the group stages. So I hope you guys had a good run here for our days 1 and 2. But now that we're in our third day, as Rocker said, first match would be the Thai representatives and their wildcard counterparts. So when it comes to this new version of AOV, I think I heard it from one of our analysts. Marco did mention that it's going to be all about level 1 invades, Rockhard, and I think for our challengers out there, it's something to look forward to.
Exactly. Level 1 invades are really, really big in today's meta, where a lot of these heroes are some that we have never really even seen before. Even the competitors themselves, who have flown all the way to Thailand from the different regions all around the world, some of these heroes, it's the first time that they're really holding them in their hands, and sometimes that can also affect how they perform. For instance, the Chinese Taipei teams, the ones that actually are pretty much up to date on the patches, they're the ones that we've seen have the leg up in this competition so far, and it's just a matter of time maybe that we'll see some of these other teams catch up to them.
I like it when you mention about the Taipei teams having an upper hand, because when it comes to knowing the patch more, yeah, I do agree that when it comes from our MSP representatives coming from this server, the Valiant server, it's gonna be a challenge for them to adjust. But I have good trust in our team representatives, and also hopes for our pro players here, because it all comes down to adjustments. If you say, and now that we're in our third day, I'm thinking, man, they have enough exposure. It's about time they show what they got.
Exactly, because one of the highlights, one of the hallmarks of a good professional team is, of course, the ability to adjust to really extreme circumstances. And if you have that, no matter where they throw you, I think you should, if you are a really good team, you should still thrive and shine.
When it comes to me casting this version of AOV, it's exciting because I get to see Wonder Woman, I get to see the Flash, sometimes even the Liliana, and so in action in the esports scene. So I want to see how it looks like when the pro players are handling in their hands. So I think, Kurt, we're ready to go to our drafting phase for our first game.
Exactly, thrown into the draft themselves right off the bat. Teammate is going to be banned off. Teammate, one of the pillars of the support role, has been definitely very justified in terms of banning. I really love how they kind of single out Malok as well. That's a bit weird. But I think we have seen a lot of Malok play from Cherie, who is, of course, a very high-tier Malok player who has started off even in first day. Right off the bat, he really did throw that out, and I think the Thailand wildcard's pretty much aware of that.
Who knows, maybe they're setting up for the Flash here, because we do see a Team E-Ban on the blue side. Who knows what's going to be their plan here for Thailand's on the red side here, while the Thailand wildcards will be playing on the blue side. So, first rotations right now, Rockhard. We're seeing the bans finalized here. Zeniel, Superman, and the Omen being banned out.
I mean, Omen has been a mainstay on the ban, right? Even since day one, because just because of how powerful Omen is when you leave him out in the field for a long time. Omen is definitely a mainstay in the Dark Slayer lane. So when you leave the Omen to just split push, usually when the Omen is picked, you have to really send at least 2 people to deal with it, or else it will be trouble for your team. A lock in on the Lubu though. Again, Lubu super picks as well. I've just noticed a lot of our international teams, specifically around the Asian region, tend to value the Lubu split push because of just how well it comes into team fights. They rely a lot on the Lubu knockup engagement to really start off the fights. And I think a lot of our Asian region representatives have had a lot of success in that.
And that's why they went for the parity here, right here, Rockhart. And also for the red side, we did see a hover on the Wonder Woman. We'll be switching things out here. So I think for the red side, they will take away the Alice. So you don't want to give the Alice at the same side where someone locks in that Lubu. And right off the bat, looks like the red team.
Yeah, there
will
you
get the
go.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman and Alice. You have to notice as well that all of the supports are basically the big impact supports have been already taken off the table. Alice, Desenyo, of course, Timmy as well. I think a lot of these, because of that, a lot of the picks for both of these teams will start to center on more of the damage dealing types. We also, I think, I kind of expect more marksmen to pop up as well. The MSP representatives did try a double marksman composition for 2 games yesterday. It didn't quite pan out just because of how they kind of distribute the gold. It was a bit difficult the way they juggled it, but I think if you try to stick with a single marksman composition, it tends to work out pretty well for your team.
I mean, you want to funnel down that gold to one single carry, and that's more gold efficient. So I do agree with you on that point. And for the red side, though, we're seeing some powerful level 1 invades on their side. Looks like in this patch, we all know that it's all about invading here. And I think I did mention in previous cast that it's not an AoV game, Rockhart. It's not an AoV game unless we see a level 1 jungle invade. And I think I'm pretty excited to see how the Thailand squad on the red side are drafting this game.
Yeah, the Thai team's definitely valuing the level 1 invades a lot as well. Like you mentioned, of course, Lindis is not really that suitable, but if you start Lasso of Truth on Wonder Woman, you actually can get pretty good results on the level 1 engage. Ryoma does need a lot of ramping up as well, but if you notice talent-wise, they're hovering triple punish. I'm actually looking forward to that. That does pan well in those early game fights where you take the buff as fast as possible. If you spam free punishes on a single golem, that's pretty much a fast take, right?
And not to mention, Rocket also powerful invade capabilities for the red side. Not to mention, not only the fact that they can get objectives easier, more control, yeah, without a doubt. They also have extra mini CC there. The slow is priceless because they're going for the Alice. So easier time for them to lock down the heroes in the battlefield. But now, guys, challengers out there, we're actually looking at Thailand's last pick. So on the blue side, we can see, as Rocket said, treasuring the Lobo, immediately getting in the first pick side. Joker as their marksman, gonna funnel all that gold in. So Rockhart, what do you think the red side's going for here? I mean, we're seeing the Wonder Woman. You did mention powerful invades.
Red side picks are pretty standard. I think Wonder Woman tank is a great viability. They did choose a lot of AD, so I think, yeah, they're gonna start switching it up with the magic damage of the Liliana. I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers will be very excited to see how this pans out, because again, I think this is one of the heroes a lot of our viewers are looking forward to playing themselves.
I mean, come on, you're on the red side, Rocket. I think it's pretty much great power picks going towards red side. Wonder Woman, Liliana, and the Lindis. Max too, of course. It's not that of a powerful invade because of Lindis, but we do see red side going for that. And they do understand that they want to take away the Max because they are going to go for the Joker marksman. And Max, we all know that he's the hero capable of singling out marksmen. And I think for the wildcard representatives of Thailand, they're not going to deal with that.
Exactly. I mean, overall, the wildcard representatives do have like a more, more divey composition here with the Mark and with the Max and the Lubu. Let's see though how well can they survive when you're flanked with the Zephys. There's pretty much good engage. I'm just wondering how they're gonna start disengaging. Because again, tanky does not usually mean surviving, and in this case, it's gonna be the Wonder Woman who is gonna be the sole tank for the red side Thailand main representatives. So it's gonna be very interesting to see this first game that we will be casting today. It should be a lot of fun.
And I have to be honest with you guys, challengers out there, this is going to be my first time seeing the Wonder Woman in action, but I do understand her kit. She is a powerful frontline tank, and you do want to stand behind her, but I want to see how the red side is going to utilize it, because if they do start with Lasso of Truth Rockhart, we're in for a game here as we load up to the Atari's battlefield for our first game of our match 1.
Of course, level 1 early engages in the mid lane, a very common trend when it comes to these. And of course, as you predicted, Vulcan Thailand main going for the very fast Golem invade. Let's see what kind of resistance wildcards will be putting out. Apparently not that much though, as they lose up on the trade for that.
Meanwhile, on their red side, they're trying to go for the Eagle Trade, but the Last of Truth gets back to Lubu. He does get away with the Red Stallion. Very close call for Romeo. So we did see here Rockcard, the Thailand on the red side, getting the blue buff, the Sage buff on Thailand's wildcard side. So this is a great start that you talked about invading as early as you can, taking away the resources.
I mean, both teams kind of already value that, but so far Thailand is the team that did something about it. I think Thailand wildcards just opting and hoping for a later game for their dual marksman, almost dual marksman, because of course if you have a Tulin, you kind of expect him to really just go hard on the carry role as well. Let's see what's gonna happen here.
Looks like they're trying to go for the second invade here. They did manage to connect the stun to the Zephyrus. Won't follow it up just yet. 3 members of the Thailand squad already invading the blue side of the wildcard squad there. I mean, Rockcard, when you have a good invade to start, just keep doing it. You don't want to let them bounce back. Just keep at it, pinch the resources of the wildcards, and you will win the gold game.
Yeah, I think that's very smart for the Thailand main to just keep pushing the pressure as much as they can, because I think they're kind of aware that the Thailand wildcard team kind of needs to ramp up before they can do anything. I mean, they do have the Zephyrus, they have the Max. They should be able to pull off engages later on. But right now, though, KSSA on that Joker, kind of in a bad place at a bad time. They forced to flicker out.
And look at that, Cherie on this Wonder Woman here. So trying to scout out any members of the wild card. And already Romeo trying to roam around the jungle side, Rockcard. You do not want to get caught up here because you can see the tense atmosphere in the battlefield. But for Thailand, they will take away the first Abyssal Dragon. Not only that, they're going to go for more here in the bot lane, going out to the Joker there, and that's going to be the Wonder Woman leading the charge with the Last of Truth for that pull. First blood going to Liliana.
Just what we were talking about, the great start for the Thailand main. Although they did go extend way too hard on Joker, they do pay off for a trade. I think that is kind of good. Good trade there for Thailand main. Even though they did lose out, they did take out the retreating Joker, which will cause some more pressure for the main squad. And of course, this is just going to be wildcard playing catch-up altogether.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay that they got for a 1-for-1 trade, but Rockcard, I think it's important that they got the Abyssal Dragon. And overall, this is a good trade for the Thailand on the red side. So for wildcards, trying to make it even. I mean, going 1-for-1 trade is okay, but you want to do good in this game.
That's right. Just don't try to not just keep answering. Because I think what Wildcards is doing, they're just reacting to all the invades that the Thailand team is doing. They're not really doing much of their own, but right now, though.
And looks like an invade that happened to get to Thailand. 3 members hiding in the brush side, connects to somebody else there. They're going hard onto the Zephyrus, and the Zephyrus does flicker away over that wall. One more amazing attack. Come on, no! Let's go in the blue side here. Looks like the Thailand wildcard are fighting back here. 3 members of the Thailand squad are grouped together, but they're still going on to the Tulen. Looks like the Lindis will take him down. A trade-off happening in the blue side here, and a re-engage from the Lubu. Picks up Umega, and now going forward to Sage Golem.
Yeah, overall, that was a bit of a weaker engage there for the Thailand wildcards. I think they kind of hurt us when they tried to answer the Thailand invade, but you know, everyone was just in the wrong place at the wrong time overall. And that, you know, the Thailand squad was grouped out right now, though. Kit in a bit of trouble.
And Cherie tried to go for the stealer. Did not happen. Zev is still taken away, but she will get the revenge by pulling him back in. He's slow. Liliana will take the kill there, but looks like Liliana is the bad spot here. Lubu is going on him. Going for the CC there. Red Stallion, that stack for the re-engage there. Can he go for it? Romeo, but it'll be Tulen. Okay, Drewwy will finish it off.
Okay, that's exactly what we're looking for. If Thailand wildcard wants to make a comeback play, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to try to punish and try to run their own plays against the Thailand squad, and you know, just try to get ahead. Try to get ahead on those team fights, and little by little, you should be able to reach your target. Right now, though, Drewwy.
Oh man, Drewwy's in a bad spot. I don't think he can get away here. He's going to trap here, and Lindis will have an easy time picking up this Tulen. In a bad spot, though, Rockcard, because the Abyssal Dragon has just spawned. and they've lost the 2 lane. Romeo trying his best to provide more pressure in the bot lane. This is good. This is good, but I think for Thailand squad, they're not glitching just yet.
Actually, yeah, I was actually a bit surprised that Abyssal Dragon focus a bit lost here for the Thailand main squad. I was kind of expecting them to just rotate right off after getting that kill. I think they kind of just lost traction there and just holds off for those waves, for those minion waves on the middle and on the bot lane. Right now, though, they do look like they have a foothold, and they will start off the Abyssal Dragon.
With 007X and Moz and MeMarkz is going to join him in here. Oh, this is bad for the wildcards, Rockhard, because looking at the gold lead right now, look at that, nearing the 3K gold lead and now going for the invade.
2 Abyssal Dragons in a row is not something that you want to give to this already ramping up. Right now, though, Final Wildcards just waiting for a miracle on the sides. As I was saying, 007 on that lane is already strong, double buffed, and ready for a fight.
And you know what, Rockhard? You get caught by the lasso of truth. Expect that every member is gonna like there just like that.
Right there.
You get locked down there under tower. You're not getting anywhere. That's such an easy pickup for the Thailand. And right now I can see a smile on your face, Rockhard, because like I said before, you get caught by the lasso of truth, you're pretty much dead meat.
Yeah, I love that they're making all of our words come true right there. Although the wildcards, they try to answer with a top push. Actually, it's very effective. It's an inner tower push. It will allow a lot of map control on the top side of the map right now, though TAOZ goes hard on the max engagement, doesn't really result to anything. I think that's more for scouting more than a kill.
And trying to stop the push happening in the mid lane, because in the map you can see here 52 seconds left till Abyssal Dragon.
Whoa!
And what just happened to the Joker there? That was a lockdown. The Alice with a stun. Every member of the Thailand squad just wrapping it up here in the mid lane. And yeah, I mean, they tried to remedy the marksman pick with taking away the max, but you really cannot afford to lose your Joker at this point.
Yeah, Moss with the perfect sunshine from Alice there made sure that the Joker did not have time to react. They will take another tower for their efforts and, of course, control of the the Dark Slayer area.
So looking at the score right now, challengers, we're seeing 2-2 in the third score here. Looks like Romeo did a pretty good job trying to offer some pressure, but I'm pretty much worried to how the wildcards can come back from this goal deficit, because 2 Abyssal Dragons was taken away by the Thailand squad.
Yeah, I kind of mirror your sentiments though, because I think, like we mentioned earlier, the wildcard composition is very, very reliant on getting that goal lead early. They do start engaging though.
And Drewwy's really close to death. He managed to get away, but leaving behind Max just in the face of the 4-man Thailand squad here. They pick it out there. Linus gets a kill, and now they're going to Romeo. He's low, he pops the ultimate, but he cannot survive that much damage. That's an easy double kill. They're not done here just yet. With the Alice shield, they're going in for the hard triple.
Wow, they just ignored that tower altogether. They juggled it so well, which result in a very clean push here. They're trying to engage. Hisipet is locked down, but 007 killed Drewwy right off the bat. Easy assassinations with that critical.
Okay, I get it, man. You are Tolan, you have great mobility, but that doesn't mean anything. When you're locked down by the Hisipet and you get stunned by the Alice, you're dead. So what's going to happen for Wildcard here? Because I think they're going to give away the Dark Slayer, because from that mid lane clash, Rockhard, they have lost 3 heroes in total, and that gives them the easy Dark Slayer they want. That's going to be the first Dark Slayer in this game going to Thailand.
Exactly, and of course, the wildcards, like you said, they're running out of options here. Where are they going to start getting gold? Because most of the map is definitely belongs to the Thailand main squad. We'll have to see, though, like, how they can get back up, because what they're trying to do now is they're trying to get as much gold and push as they can to the bottom lane, while on the top lane they're leaving some of their members to just deal with the push, which they're having a lot of difficulty with.
And not just that, this Liliana is snowballing in this game. You saw that damage over that wall. Even if the Wildcats wants to defend their lane, they can, because they cannot afford to tank those shots. And now Thailand with a Dark Slayer in their hand. They're going hard on the tower. Romeo is down. Given 007 the legendary streak here, they're going to the tower here, and that's an easy pickup again. The Joker did not even last 2 seconds in that burst. Now it's going to be Thailand just wrecking other lanes, and the wild cards can't do anything about it.
Yeah, no answer whatsoever for the Thailand wildcards. Their composition's win condition just went down the drain when even their tank cannot last at least 3 seconds in the front line against this Thailand main squad.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to go for a Wonder Woman here. Last of Truth will be your death sentence here, and you cannot afford to get picked up here. But wildcards, they can't help it because Thailand, look at your screens right now, challengers. You can see that gold lead. That's insane.
11K goal lead at 10 minutes. Can you believe it? That's going to jump into 12
My
almost. Wow, it is just Thailand pushing the tempo way up that they can't really answer.
Romeo went in with a red stallion. Immediately gets punished there, gets killed by the Liliana, and now they're going hard towards the Zephys. So far, it's going to be a wrap-up here for the Thailand squad here. Looks like Max went hard here on the Lindis, trying to take him down. He gets the kill here, but can he survive? Moss is pretty low. TAOZ is trying his best to clean up this field, but it looks like the Ryoma with the assist from the Liliano.
Man, you gotta give the Max some credit here, trying to really go to the back line and make something happen. But there's just a big lack of response here. Like Drewwy, what are you doing inside the base while Max was fighting on that bush area? You could have at least tried to jump in. But, because of all of this, it all adds up into a really big mess for the Thailand wildcards. This is just Thailand main playing safe and just, if they wanted to, they probably could end this.
I mean, they're going to go for a soft reset here. They're going to go for taking away more resources. But I was going to say 3 minutes before that, Thailand, when you look at the map in your top left screens, you can see there's towers, right? But for Thailand, when you have an Alice and a Wonder Woman, you don't see any towers. You don't care about the towers. You're just going to go hard. You're going to get shielded by the Alice. So it's going to be Thailand playing this game really well. From the drafting itself, I could say that they pretty much won game one. But I was still giving the benefit of the doubt. But look at this, man.
Exactly. I mean, the single tank composition, I was a bit iffy about it, but right now it is absolutely working well. Cherie going strong on the Wonder Woman. He doesn't even need that much presence already. This is just the Thailand squad playing around and waiting for them to make a mistake. Right now, TAOZ does go in.
Great engage from TAOZ there, but can he survive just in time for his team to catch up? They are trying to catch up here, but look at the Wonder Woman pinching that Tule. Tule could not respond. And Cherie from the backline now focusing onto the Joker. Thailand wildcards, they could not enable their carries. And now Thailand, they're going to just wipe out the field. There 4 members of wildcard are wiped out from this game. And looks like the core is exposed. And that wraps up our first game.
That's right. Thailand main taking a very decisive win over their wild card sisters. And so far, so good for Thailand. That was very solid. That was a strong showing. Kind of shows you, the what do you call this? The skill difference. Pretty much night and day for these people.
So when it comes to this first game, challengers, thank you so much for watching our first game of match 1. Note that this is a best of 3. So let's hope for the wild cards coming into game 2. They know that in the drafting phase, I felt, correct me if I'm wrong, Rocker, I felt like they gave away too many power picks on their side.
Yeah, aside from giving away too many power picks, they also kind of got starved on the support side, which, the lack of support kind of stymied their growth and enabled the Thailand team to just wreak havoc on their lines. The Alice pick was very crucial, I think, because even though Wonder Woman was the sole tank of this lineup, because of the additional shielding of the Alice and, of course, Wonder Woman's innate shield, she was able to survive all the initial tower dives, all of the initial pushes, and I think that's very critical in the fight that we witnessed.
And so far, this is going to wrap up our first game, challengers, and thank you so much for tuning in here. And as we prepare for game number 2, Rockart, how do you feel about that game 1?
Game 1, I kind of like what wildcards were trying to do. They were trying to fulfill their win conditions up to like halfway point where they were trying to just stay alive. I think if you have this composition where you have a Joker, where you have a Tulin, you kind of really want to drag out the game as much as you can, right? It's just that Thailand was really upping the tempo so fast. Early off in the game, you saw the initial double buff take from them. I mean, there was basically no response at all. It looked like a very well planned out game for the Thailand main reps.
So as Rocker said, guys, if you did tune into our game 1, and for our challengers just tuning in, we'll give you a short recap, don't worry. So right off the bat for Thailand, I mean, wildcards tried their best to invade the blue side of Thailand on the red side. That didn't go well because Wonder Woman was almost going to kill Lubu with the Lasso of Truth.
Yes.
So that's a failed invade there. And not just that, 3 members of the Thailand wildcards, rather Thailand, invaded the blue side of the wild card. So that caught them by surprise. And as Rockhart said, double buff being taken away, I think that was more than enough already to see how the level 1s would go.
From there, it just really snowballed. Like, there was very little control from the side of Thailand wildcards. I mean, they were trying to up to the mid game, like I said. But overall, like everywhere else, it was really the Thailand game. So
that's a nice way to say it, Rockhart. So Thailand wildcards, I wonder what they can do here, because from the drafting, I think our challengers watching right now, they want to see how the wildcards will adjust. They're drafting because I was kind of shocked. Yes, they did value the Lubu, as Rockhart said, but when you give away Alice and Wonder Woman on the first rotation, you're not going to have a good time. I mean, straight up, guys, you saw what happened in the game. I mean, ridiculous gold leads in a short span of time. Not to mention that the wildcards tried so hard to go for invade. Didn't really work out. So I really hope that for game 2, wildcards can bounce back.
That's right. I think we will be heading into a short break. But when we come back, game 2 for the Thailand main and Thailand wildcard teams will be witnessed. Again, I am Rockhart, and of course with me is Vulcan. We will be seeing you in a short while. Don't touch that browser.
And we're back after a short break. So once again, guys, you are watching the AWC boot camp. So we welcome you to our group stage on our 3rd day. My name is Vulcan. With me is Rockhart. Looks like I had a slip up there. So coming back to our game number 2, as Rockhart mentioned, and we did talk about how wildcards could not do anything in the early invade. So now let's get straight to game 2, Rockhart.
Yep, right off the draft, I kind of expect that Wonder Woman to be taken out. I mean, that was just so effective. I kind of wonder, like, where did this pick? When is this pick gonna come to our server? Because I want to use it. So right now, Aram, not surprising, on the ban list. Aram is another one that kind of plays like a mage, but is just super tanky, and just because of the lifesteal. So I also kind of expect a permaban on this. By the way, this free ban system working out so well for it, just because of how many good picks that are popping up these days.
And for the challengers out there watching, I mean, Rocker and I, we do come from the Valiant server.
Yes.
So we're pretty much used to 2 bans, 1 ban for the season 1, and now we're seeing the 3 ban, which I think pinches the small pool of other players. Like you did mention, the Malak plays from Cherie is something that you want to look out for, and that's why we saw a respect ban coming from the wildcard. So
even though it's not usually banned out in most games, right?
I mean, you have 3 bans, but I'm make use of it. I mean, you want to milk that 3-ban system, and already we're seeing lots of picks being removed here, especially the Lubu, as Rockhart mentioned in our game 1, which is valued at this current bootcamp run.
Exactly. I think what they're starting off with the Senil ban is, I think they're starting to starve out the support pool. Because the viable support pools right now is actually quite slim. I mean, aside from Time, aside from Senil and Alice, the rest of the remaining support pools aren't really as viable as they were. Because, again, because of the rise of heroes, such as, like right now, the Flash. Rise of these heroes are starting to diminish the value of support picks. The other ones, the ones that might have come earlier, like Crash or such, even Killgraph, not even being looked at all by these teams.
I mean, you're talking about a version in AOV where it's all about level 1 invades. You don't want to scale. You might as well just give up the Killgraph, which is my personal favorite. I'm quite sad. But RIP to late game scaling heroes. That's why the Joker was a non-factor, couldn't perform well, because why You gotta funnel all your gold to the Joker, and if you lose all your investments, you're gonna lose game 1, like how the wildcards did, with a 10k gold deficit. So now in the first picks here, raw card, what do you think they're gonna go for?
I'm expecting the Wonder Woman to be just used all the time in this tournament. I'm also expecting a lot of Lindis, even though it is not that much highlighted by but by most casts. I think the Lindis is very critical in reaching mid-game to late-game power spikes because of just how strong he is. Of course, Alice is a bit of a value, like what I talked about earlier. Support pool very, very limited for these teams. And as you can see, usually the teams that have supports are the teams that kind of thrive. That's why Senyo is also going to be a mainstay on the ban list as well.
I think I knew what you were going for there, Rocker. You were thinking about the Wonder Woman. I was also thinking the same thing, but then I realized in game 1, we saw the Wonder Woman and the Alice going to one complete side, yeah? And as you mentioned in game 1, this Malak gonna carry this game, perhaps. Gonna carry this game. We'll see how it will pan because it's on hover on the red side.
Yeah, Malak has been used quite extensively by Cherie over and over again. And not really surprised for the pickup. And you see how confident they are. They even first pick it. So that kind of just goes to show the value that the Thailand team is picking up. I think they're kind of just laughing because, oh, we got our power pick. We're gonna do some really cool stuff about this.
You know what's worse than leaving Superman open right now? Because Superman is mostly, as you saw in game 1, 94% of the time banned out.
Yeah.
We don't want to go for it. Seems like a trap. There's a Malak right now, and Malak is one of those few heroes that deal a lot of true damage, and it's quite ridiculous. So nothing's worse than you give a powerful pick and plus a comfort pick to your enemy team. But wild cards, Rocker, they're pretty much okay. I mean, we do have the Superman.
Exactly. Of course, like I predicted, though, the Lind is still going to be popped up right off the bat. That's exactly something that I've been predicting all tournament long. Superman, I'm a bit surprised though, because I think most of our teams have already been super accustomed to playing with Superman, unlike before where Superman was just such a strong pick because people were having a hard time finding out how to deal with it. So right now, I think that's a bit of a surprising pick though. Wonder Woman gonna be picked off on the other side, kind of hovered there, but gonna be switched over to something a bit more viable. I think Max and Wonder Woman kind of switchable, I think, at this point. Flexible.
Hang on. You're seeing a Superman, a Wonder Woman on the blue side. Rocker, what's happening in this drafting phase? Because it's a complete mirror, opposite of what's happening we saw in game number 1. Looks like we're seeing great picks coming from the wildcards this time.
Yeah. I think the wildcard regions kind of want to go for a bit more stable lineup compared to earlier where it was a bit volatile and a bit harder to pull off. I mean, these are going to be this is a composition that you can use early on, like you mentioned earlier. Oh, I love this Grak option though. It's a great pickoff and can be used in conjunction with the Malak to make really early plays as well. So, wow, a lot of early power here as well for the Thailand main region. I mean, having Ryoma as a damage dealer along with the Grak and the Malak, I mean, as long as you position perfectly, you should have a very strong level 1 as well.
And they're still running the wait a minute, I thought it was going to be triple punish, but yeah. So we're seeing at Superman one of the few heroes that has a very powerful level 1, and in this version, everyone watching right now, it's all about those invades. So when it comes to me and Rocker looking at this game, we're pretty much excited because I think, I hope that it's not coming out as a bad joke. I feel like the Grak is like a less attractive Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
because of the lasso of truth. That's all I see the kid and the Wonder Woman to set things up here. Grak has what it takes, but it's the opposite. Grak is mostly on pickups. Wonder Woman is great in team fights and more attractive.
Yeah. Speaking of more attractive, I think that they kind of serve pretty much the same purpose.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, but
Thanks for that. That was my point actually, but I got too much in the appearance.
Yeah, it's okay, bro. So right now, what we're gonna be dealing with is again, both teams trying hard to make some sort of strong engagement, and I think that's kind of valued in level 1 fights. And this should be a very fun match, though. This is game 2. For Thailand main versus Thailand wildcards. Again, Thailand main already has a 1-0 advantage. Let's see if they close out with a 2-0 or will they tie off the series.
Ooh, I was going to say don't get hooked by the Grak, but looks at the Grak. Will take some shots here. Gets one tower shot. Romeo wanted to go for an engage here. Moss quite low. Very, very low. So that's a very close call for the Grak. On the blue side, it looks like the CH Golem will be taken away by the wild cards.
Ooh.
Thailand, they're trying to pinch it here. They want it back. Flicker in, hooks back to Lindis. Kit, oh my god, forcing this into a fight here. Can Kit survive? Kit is at a risk of giving that sweet first blood. Cherie will be taking it away with that buff.
Yeah, not surprising at all. I mean, the final wild cards, they had the right idea. Tried to go for the early punish buff steal, but they just kind of lacked in the escape plan, man. Their getaway driver was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And now they're happy with the fact that they take away the first blood. Now they want to get the Mike Golem from the wild cards. Cherie is there. We're seeing 007 and MeMarkz. The Mike Golem did get soft reset. Cherie taking some shots here, gets stunned by the Alice. Here comes Wonder Woman. Cherie's quite low. Can he survive? He will back out. TAOZ, they take a lot of damage, but the wild cards will not let the Thailand take away their might buff.
Yeah, if Cherie there almost left to die there by the team, it's just that because of that Malok shielding, able to survive just enough to get away. But I think overall that would have been a Thailand wildcard win if they just got the Malok. But again, Cherie very, very proficient on that Malok, not going to give them any satisfaction whatsoever.
That was pretty much well played for the Thailand squad on the red side. So for the wildcards on the blue side from Thailand, they played it very carefully because they don't want to go for a long fight because that's going to be bad news for them. Their comps is not really built around that well, but the Thailand can really exploit it. So right off the bat, we're seeing the first blood, a recap of what happened. I mean, the first blood went to the Thailand on the red side, and now they're going for this.
Yeah, a bit of an opposite engage here on the bottom lane though. This time Thailand going hard on the Wonder Woman.
Oh, that's a re-engage from the Malak. TAOZ gets the shield, does not survive enough. 4 members diving onto you. I mean, no matter how much shield you get or you're tanky, 1v4, that's not fair. But Thailand says, we're okay with that. We're going to take away even the first Abyssal Dragon.
And this is exactly why Cherie's Malok was banned earlier. He's able to just position it in ways that are just too good.
And now they're returning the favor in the Dark Slayer lane, remixing some shots here. Power aggro went to Drewwy. Romeo re-engaged there, going on to Drewwy. Drewwy does get killed, it does get pulled in by the his look to it. Gets the kill. Romeo's quite low, but looks like it's going to be a wrap-up as the Ryoma, played by Remix, will take away the Superman. 2 members of the wildcards wiped out from the DS lane.
Exactly, and this is exactly what Thailand wants to have right now in the mid lane. They're
Oh my
also
God.
answering with a kill of their own, 1-for-1 there. Cherie will get the brunt of the damage as well. Malok will be forced out just to try to get away, but Kit is being very relentless.
Oh my god, he does survive under tower, picks up that shrine. So, very close goal for Cherie, but great play by TAOZ play under Wonder Woman, going for a 1-for-1 trade in that skirmish.
Yeah, that was a great try for an answer by the wildcards, although they were answered right back with another kill of their own. I mean, I'm going to say this over and over again. Thailand wildcard looked like they have the right idea of how they want to play. It's just that it looks like the main team has a lot of answers as well. On the top lane though, they will get some gold back with that tower take. The Superman pick definitely being used to its full potential so far.
Okay, so the turret score, tower score wise, wildcards will take away their first tower in this game. But know that the first Abyssal Dragon went to the red side. Looking at the goal lead, you can see a roughly of 1.5k lead here. And it's not going to turn out just well quite yet, because I think I see on the map here, they're all circling around the bottom lane.
I think they're just waiting for Abyssal Dragon take so far. And that's exactly what you want to happen though. But right now on the top lane, they're just going to leave their Ryoma to do a solo defense against multiple members of the wildcard team. I'm not sure if that's still going to be the best answer. They do try to send off the Grak to Scout and Romeo.
What a push coming from Romeo, trying to go into 3 members of Thailand, but he gets caught by the Grak there. Dulan trying to weave in and out, couldn't do much, forced to give a kill and forced to give away the Violet. At a bad time here, Rocker, because the Abyssal Dragon has just spawned. Thailand on the red side trying their best to stop the wildcards from taking away. Cherie right there going at 3 members. He gets stunned by the Alice. It's going to be a bad call there as the Malak has been removed from that fight. The wild cards going to the Abyssal Dragon. Can Thailand go for the steal? No! Gets denied there. They secure that Abyssal Dragon.
That's right, and signs of life here coming from the wildcard competitors. They do get kicked out by the Grak though. Amazing damage there from the Thailand main team. Grak Ultimate gets 2 members. They get the Superman. Will they get the Alice as well? They do!
That's great for Thailand. You get the Abyssal Dragon, that's fine. But you're a bit too exhausted here when you're going in for a fight in the mid lane. A mistake done by wildcards. A great answer from the Thailand from the red side here. Looks like TAOZ will get ganked by 3 members. Will he get away there? Looks like the Grace of Submission will do something here. TAOZ gets a shield. Won't be enough. Gets pulled back in by the Grak for a pickoff.
Moss showing up big on this Grok. That was supposed to be an insta-kill already. I mean, an instant escape already. But, you know, I just really love how the Thailand team is working so far in terms of micromanagement as well. I mean, the macro plays, they kind of lacked off, and that allowed the wildcards to catch up. But so far, the team fights are just on point all the time for Thailand so far.
And Thailand is going for great pickoffs there. Depending on this Grak, I mean, you have great mobility on the wildcard side when you're talking about a Superman. But the Alice is there, so they are trying. I mean, as you said, Rockard, they know how to play around this. That's why they're picking that. Alice trying to go for a stun there. Looks like a close call for Liliana, forcing him out of that fight. 007 getting pushed back by Romeo. Here it comes. 007, you're low, and it'll be TAOZ shutting it down.
And the tanky composition from the wildcards definitely paying off dividends at this point of the game. 7 minutes, they're already just keeping pace. But of course, despite that, I mean, despite getting the kills, the macro advantages are still in favor of Thailand main so far. I mean, Romeo trying to make something happen here. Of course, Cherie just super strong on Smallow.
Yikes, TAOZ, you gotta get out there. Cherie's in the river here. Okay, gonna get by 4 members. Cherie's quite low. It's okay for now. Gets the shield. Cherie's doing great. Okay, not anymore. Romeo just bursted it down there. That's a pickup for the wildcards, rather the Thailand squad. Wildcards tried their best to answer now, but it's okay. Looks like they will go for the Abyssal Dragon. Thailand loses Cherie. 4 members or left around the map. It looks like wildcards felt comfortable going for that Abyssal Dragon.
Yeah, and for the first time in the series, the wildcard team has a goal advantage, although very slight. They are fighting head-to-head, though. Mark's going to be the next victim.
The Lindes was going to the tulip, but gets pulled by the Grak. Weaken it slow. Can he survive? No, Kit has been taken down. But for a 1-for-1 trade, the Romeo was the price there. Romeo takes down the Violet, but the Lindes Kit survived so close. Great hook by the Grak, but looks like wildcards knowing what to do.
Exactly. I think this wildcard slowly starting to build up on the win condition of trying to win early on. I mean, they're not giving Thailand any chance to scale up at all. Of course, we already mentioned that the Thailand main team, because of the Ryoma, because of the Tolan pick, and the Violet as well, they kind of need a lot of time to pace up. But the wildcard team, knowing that, they are starting to slowly choke them out.
Is this a good call here? Because wildcard are going for the Dark Slayer. Thailand, I don't think they have enough members to respond to this. It's a sneaky Dark Slayer by the wildcards. Looks like they'll take it away. Now.
Oh man, it's a big fight starting to brew up in the middle of the map here, with just everyone playing relatively safely and just waiting for someone to make a misstep. That's basically gonna be the game here until the Dark Slayer buff gets out of contention. Both teams so far just playing so safe.
Now for wildcards. What are you gonna do with the Dark Slayer buff? You gotta make use of it. They're trying their best to be careful around the advantage they have so far. 3k gold lead, it's delicate. They don't want to give it away just like that. Yeah. Romeo went for the check there, spots out the tool.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just, Thailand, of course, Thailand may waiting for the Dark Slayer buff to time out, and Thailand wildcards waiting for a chance to get more gold. I think they're going to go for that right now.
This is great. I mean, this is great for wildcards, Rocker, because not only they took away the first Dark Slayer, now they took away their 3rd Abyssal Dragon, the 4th one that spawned in this game. And looking at the gold lead, it's still a stable 3k. They're going for the Grak. Moss could not connect his hook to any member of the wildcards. And now they're aiming for the mid lane tower.
This is going to be a very crucial tower for control. The wildcard team definitely showing up in this point of the game. 10 minutes in, they are pretty much in a solid gold lead. They're starting to stymie the scaling composition here of the Thailand's representatives. Let's see if they can make something more happen. Darkslayer above did time out. That's going to be a bit more of a hindrance to their siege.
That's going to be the signal for Thailand to feel a bit more comfortable going for this fight. MeMarkz is right there on the brush side. Let's get scouted out by Alice.
Let's see, though. I mean, it's going to be a bit more... Oh, off-cam kill there by the Lindis. Gets Ryoma out of contention. That's a big damage dealer out of the play.
Romeo going on to the Violet, charging his passive out, really zoning out 007X. He's a bit too close there. He may get hooked by the crack. Have to be careful. Romeo did survive from that aggression.
Perfect hissy fit there by KSA on that. Alice makes a zone that did not allow the Thailand squad to respond to that tower take.
Looks like Romeo is building very defensively, so he will feel comfortable going in for those hard dives. Thailand, they have to be ready on the red side here.
Exactly. I think it's going to be, this is make or break. Basically, the next team that wins this will have a huge advantage in terms of control. And I think this is going to be Thailand just waiting for the perfect crack hook. I mean, once they hook maybe the Alice or the Lindis, that could be game. That could be two towers. They do start off fights in the mid lane. Now let's see who makes the critical mistake that we were talking about.
Thailand's pretty much worn out here. They get the heal. TAOZ going in hard, trying to zone out the members of Thailand. Looks like the Malak will be used the ultimate to escape. The stun did connect to the crack. Looks like MeMarkz is getting heavily locked down by the members of the Wildcards. Did not connect his hook to any members, trying to scout the Lindis. Looks like Wildcards really swiftly moving around the map here, Rockart, because I think it's going to be a hard time for MeMarkz to even pick up any members of Wildcards because they keep moving around here and they know how to avoid that crack.
Yes, this is very, very good for the Wildcards. Just keep control of the map at all times. Do not let the main team at nearby any source of gold. And if you keep doing that, you're gonna starve out the Violet. You're gonna starve out the Tulin. And even if they get a good crack pull, they should not be able to do any kills. I think that's exactly what Wildcards are trying to do at this point.
And now this goal is going to be 5,000. The Wildcard tried their best in the first game, didn't pan out too well. They're learning from their mistakes, guys. And I think for the fans of the Wildcards, rejoice because it's going to be a nearing the 6K gold league mark onto Wildcard's side. They have 5 towers on their side, and now they may go for a 3-man invade here.
This could be a big pickoff on the Violet. If he gets it, they do try to go for the steal. They do not get anything for their efforts, though. Wildcard still has big control of a majority of the map. Let's see what Thailand main is going to do about this.
It's okay. I mean, the Violet did take away the might buff, so for the Wildcards, they want to go for the pickup. Yes, as Rockart said, guys, the Violet looks like it's going to be a bad spot for Remix to be in the map here. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
I mean,
exactly.
3 members immediately just chipped him out, bursting out this Ryoma. Now, I'm pretty much worried for Thailand here on the red side because it's going to be a bad spot if they want to get picked off here. At least they have the Grak to go for it.
That's right. And as we talked about, though, the Grak's value is starting to diminish slowly but surely because of just how low the damage of MeMarkz and 007 is on this Violet and Tulin.
Oh, they did hook up the Alice. They're taking a lot of shots by the Alice. They're really focusing down the support. Does survive with the shield. Must does get away from the fight. He tried to get away over that wall, and it's going to be a bad spot for Moss to be at because the Wonder Woman with the Lance of Truth will pull him back in. Now here comes Tulin and Ryoma from the base trying to pinch the members of the Wildcards. Tulin oversteps, gets stunned, and what a pickoff onto Tulin. 3 members of the Thailand squad removed from this fight. 007X oversteps. Oh my god, overstepped to the map here. Did not see the Alice, and the Superman immediately regrets that decision. Wildcards removing 4 members from Thailand.
For a minute there, you thought that the main team quite had it. They could have taken a lot of the members of the Wildcard teams out, but you could see, just because of overzealousness from the main team, the base of their own are going to get into shambles as the Wildcard teams go for the core and go for the win. They clean out and they tie the series 1-1.
And looks like for the challengers, we have something exciting in store for you in Game 3. Match point for our first match of Thailand versus Thailand Wildcards. So there you guys have it. That's been our Game 2. Great performances from the Wildcards. You can see right now it's a bit of a game phase for them. They're going
everyone's
in-
just really having fun overall.
Yeah, they're going in serious mode right here because judging from the drafting, they've taken away the Superman and the Wonder Woman. That's great for wildcards.
Yeah, this tanky composition that they kind of went for definitely paid off dividends when you saw that they were, when they started using the Lasso of Truth on Wonder Woman and of course Superman poke on Romeo. It really paid off so much, and you can see right there Romeo and Kit quite even on the gold count, despite of course Kit getting a majority of the kills as well.
Oh boy, looking at the match summary here, you can see how much of a lead they got. I mean, getting the old majority of the Abyssal Dragons is great for wildcards because not only they take away the Wonder Woman and the Superman, you can see how much damage the Lindis did and how much value that this Alice will give when you lock it in. That's why in the blue side, they went for that first priority. I mean, we did expect the Wonder Woman. It did go into their hands, but note that the Alice was a great pick for the wildcards.
Yeah, we're looking for an Alice and Wonder Woman ban here coming soon. If they do try that, though, a lot of other options are going to start to get unlocked. That's not really something you want to do, want to give. Especially considering that the wildcards definitely showing that they are not a pushover at all.
I mean, coming from game one, Thailand who played and won that game, I have to say that was pretty much of a stomp. But coming into game two, now I'm seeing that wildcards, they were just feeling them out. So
yes.
You can see on your games here, it's gonna be great because not only that we get a great game three, because I like it. I personally love it when we go into a full best of three. So looks like we'll be seeing some highlights here. So once again, guys, we'll be zoning out for now. My name is Vulcan. With me was Rockhart. I hope you enjoyed the replay, guys, because you're going to be looking at us for the past 2 minutes now. So great to see you guys again here. My name is Vulcan. With me is Rocker. We'll be your shoutcasters for the last game of our match one, a best of three series going all the way.
That's right. Of course, the best of three is definitely something that we want to see. Like you mentioned earlier, we kind of value these best of threes because this is a great measure of how well teams perform in very clutch situations.
I mean, I do love a good best of three going all the way. Best of five is okay, but best of seven going all the way, I may have some regrets. So, but it's still enjoyable to watch. It's great because you get to see the journey. You get to see the story being built as the game progresses. And now this story is that as Thailand in the first game, you saw how well they played in drafting. It went well. Game two came. Wildcards played it better with a Superman and Wonder Woman going to their side. Now game three, Rockhart. You gotta tell us, man, what's gonna happen in game 3 because now it's gonna be the last game here for our first match.
I'm expecting maybe a Wonder Woman first pick, or at least break up the Alice Wonder Woman combo, because I think it's gonna be a big deficit. So this game is gonna be so big, and of course this is game 3, boot camp still. We will go on a short break though, apparently, because we need time for the teams to get set up. So I'm Rockhart. This is Vulcan. We'll see you guys in a bit. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Arena of Valor Heroes Spotlight. In this episode, we're introducing Zill, the Tempest. Zill is an assassin hero capable of quickly ripping through enemy teams like a hurricane. If you think grouping together and focusing Zill will defeat him, you're...
Hi guys, did you miss us? Because I think I missed you guys too. So my name is Vulcan and with me is Rockhard. We'll be your shoutcasters for the last game of our first match of Thailand versus Thailand Wildcards.
That's right. Of course, Thailand Wildcards proving to be force to be reckoned with in that last game where we saw them smash through the main team's lines. Of course, we're going to jump right off into the draft. Bans are already locked in. They did lock out those supports as well. The triple triad. The triad of the main supports are already out of contention. I think it kind of hurt us when we kind of said you have to break up the Alice and Alice Wonder Woman combo. So even though Wonder Woman will get picked here, we'll have to see what they kind of make work for.
But looks like they will take away the Malak from Cherie, as we do know that he's very effective on. So it's going to be Malak first pick with the Lindis on the red side. Not going to give it towards to the blues.
Yeah, that was a smart denial pick there for the Malak. Of course, we're going to have Cherie still pretty proficient on very different tanks. So I don't think that's going to cripple him way too much. We'll have to see. Because I think we also saw that in the first game where the Thailand main did win. Cherie was using Wonder Woman that time. So again, there's still a lot of options here open for the main Thailand team. Just have to see how they mix it up.
Looks like we're seeing the Justice League on the blue side. We're only missing Batman because we're seeing all the DC heroes being locked in for the blue side.
Yeah.
The Superman, Joker, and Wonder Woman. If we get a Batman here.
And the Flash.
The Flash, but the Flash
Yeah,
is banned. So
that's
I would
right.
have thrown confetti to say, look at that, guys.
happens,
We have
right?
a themed pick here, the DC squad. But yeah, getting to the serious side here, Rockhard, the Wonder Woman and the Joker is being picked here.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is a great flank for Joker. Joker will need a lot of time to ramp up, and I think the Thailand wildcards do need to draft a composition that can counter that. And I think the Grak and the Malak composition is one way to do it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there you go. They swap it up, and they will have this Lumber as their second primary tank instead.
That's good stuff because they want to go for a really good level 1 vein. So now I want to see what's going to be their last two picks because the Tulan is open here. Okay, we're seeing it right now. And now, are they going to go for, let's say, what's available for them to pick? I think when it comes to the Superman and Wonder Woman, they really set themselves for success here because you're seeing the Joker here, and now you're just taking the Violet. So, okay, it's a bit of a...
That's a lot of...
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Arthur.
was gonna say that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's exactly what you were gonna point at. Like, Talon and Violet and Joker. I mean, you do have double tanks, but can they sustain and can they engage properly with this composition? That's something that we will have to find out in terms of execution.
Let's hope that they don't get behind because once they start getting behind, that would be one of the conditions for wildcards to win this game because you're seeing the Lindis, the Lillian, and the Malak. It's gonna be difficult for the Violet and Joker to start their early game because they really take time to wrap things up. But once they do, once they do, it's gonna be a good investment for Thailand.
So Thailand wildcards win condition kind of rely on stopping that that ramping up that you just mentioned here. They need to finish and they need to do early fights because that's the time that the Thailand main lineup is going to have a harder time dealing. But again, we'll have to see if wildcards will figure that out. If they will start off the fights early and get an advantage before they get overwhelmed by the Thailand main comp.
Okay, this is deadly because we're seeing this Max here. One of the heroes I like to call one of the marksman destroyers because all of your range doesn't mean anything when that Max will engage on you. So Rockar looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of challenges for Thailand, who's playing on the blue side, to overcome because looking at the red side picks, they have all the means to just stop the scaling of Thailand. And if they do, they have a plan B, which is the Max that's picked in right now.
Yeah, you kind of like. I have to tend to agree to you in that regard because the wild card composition, they do have a great initiate. They have a Lumber ultimate to get in it with the Earth Splitter, and then follow up with a Max dive and the Malak dive. I mean, they can reach any target on the Thailand main squad. If they want to single out someone, they will be able to take him out very fast.
That sounds pretty cool for the red side here. Let's hope that that's the case here. And that's going to be their condition scaling towards the mid to late. So if ever there's going to be a mid to late for the blue side, because
that's a question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be something that all of us are asking here, to follow the competitive scene, but without any form of delay. Looks like we will load up to the Antares battlefield shortly after. But looking at how things have been progressing, Rocker, it's going to be a great best of 3, because not only did we see powerful picks, great picks, and great adjustments from both teams, you can head to Thailand, the Thailand squad here, showing what they've got in the blue camp.
That's right. Of course, Thailand wildcards also showing a very strong start as well. It was a bit delayed because of just how dominant Thailand main was. So right now, game 3 for Thailand main versus Thailand wildcards. Initial fights are going to start breaking up in the mid lane, getting into position on those bushes. Let's see who gets caught out.
They want to go for an invade right off the bat here, Rockhard. You see 3 members of the main here going in hard, zoning out Max, and right off the bat, they're going for the mic ball. And meanwhile, in the opposite side of the map, wildcards doing the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much control at this point. No one can opt for an early fight except for in the top lane where Moss is picking off Romeo split piece by piece.
Oh my.
They will have an advantage there. They will have dominance and denial for those minions. Let's see if they can make something more from that.
And Cherie will perhaps face... Wow, what a great steal coming from Cherie with a lasso of truth. The nice one cap going to wildcard.
That kind of just goes to show the control that Cherie has. Very dominant on that dark Slayer side usually, but he will be positioned on the Abyssal Dragon side. Will we see a lot more roams going to the bottom area? We'll have to wait and see, because again, both teams kind of very good on macro as well, as shown on the last 2 games.
Yep, and they're trying their best in the mid lane here, especially the wild cards. They're trying their best to just control the lanes here, but I'm scared for Max, because not only is that the Thailand main are going for a proxy here, they're going in for an aggressive poke here with Remix going in for dive here, and that's going to be an easy peasy first blood going towards Moss, but Remix oversteps here. Lindis and Lumber are here on the scene. Looks like the Lumber is soaking a bit too much damage. Kit is going out to Moss, but 007X did a great job zoning out that Lumber.
Yeah, just the zoning out did a lot to counter any sort of aggression from the Thailand main squad. They will try to secure their jungles, and Cherie going for a bit of a proxy on the bottom lane. I think that will help a lot in trying to take down the tower faster. They will also compound that with a siege in the mid lane.
You know, I like this game so far. I'm seeing how Thailand's doing this, wildcard's doing the same thing. You're going for a proxy, we'll do the same thing. It's about this equal trade we're seeing, and this is the trend in the game 3. Not only that they read each other so well, but they're also playing like twins.
That's right. Right now, though, a lot of the aggression is coming from the Thailand main squad on the blue side, where they're using all that range to poke out Thailand wildcards as much as they can. This Lumber doesn't have an ultimate, will not be able to defend this properly.
Hey, yeah, that's going to be an easy first tower going towards Thailand. And now they will go for the Lumber. Low health. But we know that he will survive. Close call.
Of course, the power of the Thailand squad is also in the poke. Violet and Joker, two of the best poke heroes. Oh my god, Romeo gonna be caught on the recall. Will get dove on and will get taken out by MeMarkz on the torrent. Another free kill there for the Thailand main.
The bullies here, looks like rest in peace there. And on the opposite side of the map, it's going to be wildcards trading. Okay, trading the life there for the Abyssal Dragon. It's okay, Romeo, you died, but we'll try our best to take something. We have taken away the Abyssal Dragon to try and equalize the gold lead, but you can see on your screens here, it's not that big just yet, just 600 gold lead going to the blue side.
Of course, this will be also equalized pretty much by the tower take. 8.2k for both teams. Both teams very aggressive and very proactive in taking the fight whenever they can. For example, right now on top lane.
Lumber, are you tagging enough for this 3-member dive here? Because we're seeing Tulin on the side here. He may go for a face check. Sees Moss. Moss going in with the slow. Remix pushes him back. Lumber is low, gets pushed back again, uses the shatter, but in the end, he gets taken out. Mana for the re-engage, the 3-man knockup. It's going to be Liliana going in hard with potential double kill at stake here. And here comes the Lindis for that cleanup.
Perfect cleanup there by the Lindis, takes every single target out very easily. This could result in a tower take for the wildcards, which will bolster them to their first major lead in terms of gold. But of course, on the bottom lane, this will be also a big question on how well that tower take will impact them. Because again, both towers for bot lane and top lane are out. That means a lot more openings for the wildcards to make their invades.
Great job by wildcards there, taking away the turret, not to mention 2 members of Thailand, giving the funneling that gold down to Drewwy and Kit. That's what you want to do. So, looking at the bottom side here, the Abyssal Dragon will spawn in 14 seconds. And not only the wildcards are setting things up there.
Ooh, that was very strong there. True damage going through the remix.
That's pretty good stuff. So, I like the fact that the Mountain's doing a group stuff here for the DS lane. But looking how Wildcard is really prepping this Abyssal Dragon. On the map, you can see that they create so much room. Lin is going in for some scout to see, is it okay? I think not, because Moss is going in after Romeo. Meanwhile, the Lindis is focusing to the Abyssal Dragon. Tulen will respond. Romeo gets pulled in by Cherie. And bye-bye to the little kid on the block there. Romeo, you're gone. You're done. But it will be Wildcard still securing the second Abyssal Dragon across the map with the cost of Romeo's life and also Kit's life. So, 2 kills for 1 Abyssal Dragon. Not too good because the gold lead is already equalizing to Thailand.
That's right, Thailand catching up quite nicely. Despite losing a bit from that fight, they will start to invade and make their mark on the red side jungle for Thailand. Wildcards, they will start to funnel over towards the bottom lane area as well. Thailand reading the macro game very well. They will also threaten some sort of pressure on the Sage Golem side of the map. I love that pull there by the last one.
I mean, we did see that pull before in the bottom side where they pulled 1 camp. So I like it. I like seeing the use of a great tool, especially the Lasso of Truth. But seeing how this game 3 is progressing, guys, I know that it's the best of 3 last game. You can see how the pace is changing here. They're going for more serious objective takes. They're being more calculative. It's done for the cleaning out phase.
Yeah, and there's very little downtime for both teams. They're very proactive. It's trying to get as much goal as they can, and especially for Thailand, I think that's very Thailand made. Moss though getting caught out and forced to flicker out by TAOZ.
Moss, you gotta be careful going for those brushes. I mean, you have, let's say, a Wonder Woman, but you gotta be careful on the engage coming from the wild cards. So
I think, a lot of that is also gonna be up to the flicker cooldown as well. I mean, once that flicker goes into cooldown, that's a very easy target there if it gets caught out quite early. So let's see, maybe they will try to just wait it out and wait for Thailand to make a mistake. I think they will. MeMarkz does take down the Liana off screen, and TAOZ to the pressure of 007.
Yeah, Romeo going in for the bunk there. Looks like a great dive by the Max to just take away 007X. Romeo going in deep there, just taking away the violence.
This is the power of the Max that you mentioned earlier. They will get answered with a kill of their own. Romeo goes down to Remix and Marks.
Great snipe though coming in from Tulen, but the Abyssal Dragon has spawned right now. Thailand main, they're trying their best to stop wildcards from taking away any more gold, because no matter how much kills they have, that doesn't mean anything, because wildcards is having a decent gold, not too much of a bad deficit for them because they got 2 Abyssal Dragons. It's still manageable, so if they give away this third one, it's gonna be good for wildcards. But looks like on the map here, they are forced out.
Now they're starting to value towers more and more, because again, we're almost at 10 minutes here on the game clock, and by that time we should have pretty decent items. I think they're starting to lack on that. The Lindis not that strong as we saw in the previous games. We will maybe see a bit of a difference maker here as the wildcard team takes out another tower and possibly opens up Dark Slayer opportunity.
Not only that, across the map you can see on your top left corner, the Wonder Woman is in the Abyssal Dragon pit. and takes away that third Abyssal Dragon of the game. The first one for Thailand main. And now the Lumber going in onto the Tulen, tries to slow him down there, but the Tulen does escape. Meanwhile, in the riverside, Remix getting picked up by the Lendes, and Max going in hard at the 007. Romeo leading the charge with the Lumber doing the stun. Did not connect to any members. An aggressive time from Wildcard is backfiring right now in the mid lane.
Definitely a way overreach there for the Max target. Although they will do a lot of chip damage here in the mid lane tower, that actually cost them quite a lot of control all over the map.
I mean, when you have the outer mid lane tower still alive, you don't want to go for anything like that. I think for Romeo, he took too many tower shots, paid the price there. A failed engage for Wildcards, but still, we're seeing that momentum, guys. We're seeing how the Wildcards, they're trying their best to just stop the skating. But at this point, Rockart, I think it's safe to say that 007X and Moss, they've reached the point where they feel comfortable in team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Moss, especially on that Joker, not too afraid to take those engages, even though it's a bit of a shorter range whenever he tries to go for auto attacks. Right now, though, it looks like there's going to be a big fight here in the Darkslayer buff. MeMarkz open up for aggression.
Look at the Liliana, quite low. Remix is going in hard. Remix trying to go in for the cleanup that he did not. He's just messing around with the Lumber and the Lendes, and it will be an overstep from Thailand. They have lost Superman. They have lost the Violet. Two members removed from that fight, but the Wonder Woman trying to turn it around. Great job by Cherie to just remove three members there. And now Tulen trying to go for the cleanup. Drewwy takes a shot. Kid's still alive, but now can they defend incoming waves? Yes, they will.
What a back and forth there by Thailand main and Thailand Wildcard, losing up a lot of their members. Although, of course, Thailand main winning up a bit ahead because the ones that are left behind are their primary source of constant DPS. And I think that's one of the factors why they kind of have more control of the map at this point. Probably could take this Abyssal Dragon quite easily, but opt to go for a bit more of an assassination attempt in the mid lane. They will not catch anyone. It just goes to show how much power they already have.
This is good. This is tasting really good for our challengers out there, because not only that we're seeing a great game, we're also seeing how the Wildcards are trying their best to go for pickups here. Remix, you're a bit too in a danger zone. Don't want to be there, guy. Don't want to be there. You don't want to give a kill towards Wildcards. Moss was charging up that shot. Now he pays the price, getting pulled in. You saw the killing joke being charged in, and what did Wildcard do? Now they're going for a hard engager. Max went in for the side there. Romeo tried his best to just zone out the rest of the members of the Thailand squad. Darkslayer area rocker is opened up.
This is the power of that engage composition that Thailand Wildcards have drafted, with the Malok ultimate closing up a lot of the escape path. Of course, Lumber there to lock everyone up. Whoa!
Good stuff! What? Good stuff from the main squad! Cherie takes the Darkslayer. Remix going in there. Lumber's trying to disengage the fight. They are not going anywhere because it's going to be a sweet double kill for Violet. Going after Romeo. He's low. 007X is on touch. And Wildcard paying the price because the Darkslayer has been stolen away by the main.
I cannot believe what I just saw there. Wonder Woman stealing the Darkslayer buff, also resulting in an ace. What Thailand main.
A decisive steal from the main squad. Not only they got the ace, now they can take away the game. 8 seconds left and the Lumber cannot defend this. What a play that was, Rockart, because when it comes to a decisive steal like that, way to go, Cherie, for that steal and setting up that clash.
Of all the people to do the steals, that was the least person that you would have expected that from. And again, great play and decisiveness there by the Thailand main squad. Just goes to show why they are the main competitors here for the Thailand attempt at the World Cup 2018.
That's good stuff. I think the challengers out there are thrilled to see that last moment of the game. Those were actually the dying seconds of the match, but in the end, it's going to be a wrap-up here. So thank you so much for tuning into match 1. This will conclude the Thailand versus Thailand Wildcards, with Thailand taking away this match 1.
That's right. So what we can take away from this is get Wonder Woman, get wrecked. No, just kidding. I mean, the Wonder Woman, that was definitely such a big help in engaging and keeping your carries alive. And again, I'm still a bit surprised that it is not coming into the ban list at all and always getting picked off. Again, both teams, of course, going to be playing out and shaking hands, very friendly, all from the same region, all going to play for pride, for their home country. And of course, this will not be the last time they will see each other. It's going to be a long boot camp all week long, and I hope you guys still have enough energy to join us again for this awesome boot camp we're experiencing.
My God, looking at the game so far, I gotta hand it to Cherie for the 4-1-16, not to mention the decisive steal, setting everything up. You're all jacked up from the Dark Slayer buff. You're gonna win that clash. And so, what can you take away from this, challengers? You gotta secure the Dark Slayer. So that's been it for our match 1. It's going to be a great run for the bootcamp for both teams here. But I guess it's going to be a sad moment for you guys, because if you're not going to miss me, then it's going to be happy. So it's going to be the end for match 1. I'll be signing off with Rockart. So, Rockart, thank you so much for tuning in to our match 1. But after a short break, we will continue on to match 2. Indonesia versus Vietnam. Thank you so much for supporting our stream. See you there.